Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhigaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So we are continuing our study of Sri Bhagavad Gita. So we are now studying chapter number 2. We completed till 29. So we'll be doing verse number 30 onwards. देहि नित्यम अवद्योयम देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Yes, please recite.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. देहि नित्यम अवध्ययम देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न तं शोचितुम् अर्हसि.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. देहि नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Translation, please, somebody.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, anyway, we know that what is the topic of discussion. Krishna is speaking about the identity of soul, individuality of the soul, and the soul's characteristics, nature, that soul cannot be killed, cannot be withered by wind, it cannot be moistened by water, it can be burned, so many things, so many details Krishna is saying. Again, is continuing some more verses. Krishna will be explaining about the nature of the soul. So he is saying, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. He who dwells in the body means a soul. Who is dwelling in the body? Body is an external covering, right? What we are seeing outside is an external cover. So actually the person who is inside the body is the soul, which is our actual identity, and that soul can never be slain. Slain means it cannot be, it cannot be killed, basically. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. So you don't have to be sad. Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in the various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher Bhishma and Drona will die in this battle. So Krishna is telling that the soul is immortal, and different ways he is explaining, right? We are seeing, maybe we might be thinking that, okay, why Krishna is repeating the same message? Almost, there is some similarity in the description also, right? So maybe we think that he is repeating. Actually, he is making the point, that emphasizing the point that we are not this body, we are actually souls, spirit souls. And to understand that properly, and to make us understand that this is very important tattva, we should imbibe or understand most important tattva. Because if we know that we are Krishna's part and parcel, we are not this body, then all the problems what we are facing in this world we will not feel that it's a problem, as a problem, basically. Because whatever we are facing, dear devotees, just think about it. Whatever we say problems of this world, it could be health problems, it could be money problems, it could be relationship problems, any problems, whatever. Heat, cold, heat is a problem. If it is more cold, that is a problem. Then so many things are, right? So many things, like everything is, so we can see so many dualities in this world. There are some are enemies, some are friends, some are well-wishers, some are completely envious. So many dualities we can see, dvantas. So all these are based on the body, bodily conception. So if we understand the basic tattva, basic but the most important tattva, that we are not this body, we are actually spirit souls. When we realize it properly, then all these dualities will never affect us. No problems will affect us. Nothing is going to affect us, basically. So, this tattva is, we may think that's a basic tattva, but it's not just basic. Of course, it's a basic foundation, but if we properly understand this, none of us are understand. None of us here sitting here, we are not realizing we are not realizing that we are souls. That is why we are still going through so many problems. We are facing so many things. We are feeling bad. We are feeling happy. Like we are going through the dualities of this world. So when will we realize it? We don't know. By Krishna's mercy, by practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, we will be able to understand, or in the sense not theoretically understanding, that we already have, but actually practically that realization should come in our heart, which by Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, we will get. Then nothing in this world will affect us. Then even we will not feel that we are in the material world. Because we are completely out of that thought. Because we will be happy with serving Krishna in different ways, chanting the holy names, hearing about Krishna, and doing other services for Krishna. Then definitely, even though we might be sitting in the material world, but we will not be part of this world. Means our thoughts, our consciousness will be completely transcendental. So that is the realized knowledge, basically. So we are all, we have to come to that stage. Now Krishna, knowing the importance of this basic tattva, he is emphasizing on the same point again and again, like that. So Krishna, further Prabhupada says that Arjuna has to, as a Kshatriya, he has to do his duty, but he doesn't have to doesn't have to abandon the duty, because he is thinking that I have to kill all the relatives. So on the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such soul, nothing as soul, no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. So we need to understand the authority of the soul is different from the material body, and definitely living symptoms, what we are seeing, is only because of the presence of soul. If there is no soul in our body, there is no life. Why we have life, why we are able to breathe, why we are able to speak, why we are able to move, everything is because of the presence of the spirit soul. Right? So through the soul, though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. That need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously. So though the soul is immortal, Prabhupada mentions very important point. Soul is immortal, yes, but that doesn't mean that we are encouraging violence, that anybody can kill anybody. No, war also should not happen for unnecessary reasons. War between the countries of this world currently, what is happening is completely based on the false ego and selfishness, nothing else. It's not dharma yuddha. The India is having some enmity with some other neighboring countries. In the sense, not we are having enmity, they are also having enmity, everybody is having enmity. So likewise, so many countries have different problems. Everything is not, so war may happen, there are fights sometimes, I remember recently in the Middle East also, we were facing some problems. By Krishna's mercy, nothing happened, or no major problems in the UAE. But there are some other Middle East countries, some flights were cancelled, and I remember still when I was going to the US, my flight got cancelled actually. Then they rebooked in different flight because of this problem, war. So prediction, nothing is there in UAE, but even the flights, they were fearing to fly through the Middle East actually, the complete region of Middle East. So the point is that all these wars, what is the base of this? Nothing other than false ego. Simply false ego and selfishness, nothing else. So completely based on the bodily conception, not having, they don't have proper vision. So this is the problem. But what war we are seeing in the Mahabharata or in the Bhagavad Gita is the Kurukshetra war. This is Dharma Yuddha. That is to establish Dharma, we need to have war in case if it is required. So that is the thing, that is what is happening, which is completely in line with the scriptures, not against the scriptures. Next verse 31. Swadharmam api cha vekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Swadharmam apicha aveksha navikampitum aharshi dharmat hi yuddhata shreya anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. स्वधर्मभि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याति युद्ध्वाच्छेयो क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Translation, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Hare Krishna.
Krishna says, considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you are a Kshatriya or Arjun, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. See, that is the main point. On religious principle, dharmayat. For dharma, for protecting the dharma, you can engage in war. Because that is your duty also. Because you are a Kshatriya, you are an administrator, you are a ruler. So you can do that, nothing wrong. That's the best engagement for you, Krishna says. And there is no need of hesitation. You don't have to hesitate for doing this. Prabhupada's purport. Out of the 4 orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. So Kshatriya, there are 4 varnas, right? 4 varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras. So here, what is the role of Kshatriyas? Administration or ruling or leadership basically. Kshat means hurt. That's the meaning of Kshat. And one who gives protection from the harm is called Kshatriya. Kshat. Trayate. Trayate means give protection. So one who is giving protection from harm is called Kshatriya. See, the meaning of Kshatriya itself is like that. One who gives protection from harm. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest, Prabhupada says. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas or renunciation. Okay. So Prabhupada mentions the point that Kshatriyas sometimes go to the forest and they may do the hunting. So we need to understand the purpose of hunting. What we have heard, even the Parikshit Maharaj, when he was there ruling, he also used to go for hunting. It's not for killing some animal and for eating purpose. No, it is not that they don't have anything in the palace to eat. They were the emperors of the world actually. They have everything, full opulence. Everything is there. The entire earth planet is under their control. What is the scarcity for them? But still they go for hunting. It's not for the purpose of satisfying the tongue. They are going for going for improving their skills actually. So when they kill the animals, because some animals will run and they will fight with lions, tigers, or maybe some other animals also, and they will sharpen their skills of bow and arrow and other type of fighting skills. They do that actually. So it's like a practice for them, you know. Uh, Before they go for the battlefield, they will, will be doing practice actually in the forest. So such processes are actually approved in the Vedas. For a Kshatriya, proper Kshatriya, he can do hunting for this purpose as a practice, so that when it is required to have a war outside, actual war, then he should have that skill sets, right? So for that he does this. So that is completely allowed as per the scriptures. It's not against the scriptures. If something is mentioned in the scriptures, that is an authority. Then no sinful reactions. So actually what is happening, if a Kshatriya is killing an animal for this, if he is following the principles and following the dharma properly, so what is happening is that he is not incurring any karma of killing the animal, because it's based on the scriptures. Secondly, the animal is also not getting, it's like we generally say that animal has a lifespan, right? That lifespan, like all of us, there is a destined lifespan. For example, if we live for 10 years, 100 years, like that, 50 years, 70 years. So animals also have got some lifespan. For example, if a tiger, if he is supposed to live for 15 years, for example, and if somebody is killing the tiger at the age of 5, then what about the 15 years? So it is said that the tiger has to wait, again take birth as a tiger to fulfill that, to complete that period. So it's a very dangerous thing to kill any animals. So that is why if people are killing chicken and goat and so many other things for eating, what is happening? We are actually killing, their as per their lifespan, they have to go through that body, they have to have in that body for some time, but we are breaking that law of nature is breaking, so they have to again take birth. So we are actually not helping them, we are actually not only eating them, in fact their time frame of being in that body we are reducing because of that. So then only, so if they complete that period, what will happen? They will go to the next body according to their whatever karmas or the baggage. So if not, they have to again take birth in the same species. So that's the problem for them. So we are interrupting their progress of evolution. So that is wrong thing, we should not do. But whichever animals are killed in the forest by a Kshatriya according to the scriptures, then the body of the tiger, the tiger is also not losing that evolutionary, he is not we are not breaking that process of that evolution thing. In fact, because it is for the dharma, then they are actually getting some elevation, they are getting benefited actually. That is why Prabhupada mentioned here in the purport that they do royal cremation because royal cremation means if a person is dying in the kingdom, in the palace basically, somebody in the kingly family, if somebody is dying, then that cremation itself will be a grand program, in a grand way they do. Similarly they do for the animals, because he or she, that animal is being killed by the Kshatriya. To improve their skill sets, they are using the animal. So animals are not losing anything, and the person who is killing them also not losing. But this is not an open sanction for just killing. If that same Kshatriya, same person is killing just for eating purpose, then there is a sin. So there is a difference. So if we are killing an animal, or if we are sanctioning somebody to kill the animal, we are getting sin. So it's very clear. I think we have already mentioned this before. Prabhupada mentions in one of the purport that whoever is killing the animal will get the sin. Whoever is giving sanction to kill the for slaughtering also will get sin. The person who is purchasing the meat will get sin. The person who is supplying the meat or giving the meat, he is also getting the sin. The person who is going to cook the meat, he is also getting the sin. A person who is going to eat the meat, cooked one, he is also getting the sin. So everybody is getting sin, right from A to C. So very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Right. Prabhupada mentions. Okay. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Yeah. Non-violence in politics may be diplomacy. Okay. Then one more point Prabhupada mentions that Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting direct order of sannyas or renunciation, because Kshatriyas have so many duties to perform. They have to take care of they have to take responsibility of the citizens, and law and order has to be maintained, administration. So they can't just take sannyasa order, because sannyasa is completely, getting out of all these responsibilities basically and completely dedicating for the service of Krishna. But here the Kshatriyas are actually, because they have so many duties to perform, that is why generally sannyasa order is not recommended for Kshatriyas. Prabhupada mentioned non-violence in politics may be diplomacy, but it is never a factor of or principle. In the religious laws books it is stated, आहवेषु मिदोऽन्योऽयं जिघांसन्दो महीक्षितः युद्धमाना परं शक्त्या स्वर्गं यान्ति अपरान् मुक्ताः यज्ञेषु पशवो ब्रह्मन् हन्यते सततं द्विजै संस्कृताखिलमन्त्रैश्च तेऽपि स्वर्गम् अवाप्नुवन्. So in the battlefield, a king or a Kshatriya, while fighting another king, envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death. As the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing in the sacrificial fire. See, very beautiful point. So in a battlefield, in a Kshatriya, if he is fighting for fighting on religious principles, then if we are killing, if somebody is being killed or whatever, they are actually getting elevation to the higher planetary system, heavenly planets basically. And the Brahmanas, some of the Brahmanas who does some kind of animal sacrifices, some kind of yagyas, animal sacrifice. Again, this process is not valid in the Kali Yuga, killing animals for sacrifice. This is completely abandoned in Kali Yuga, by the way. But this is general Vedic injunction. Okay. So Brahmanas also might get some due to some yagyas material. This is again for the material profit from fruitive activities. So they may do some yagyas and they may attain heavenly planets. So the Kshatriyas, they don't have to go through sacrifice. They can also attain heavenly planet just by fighting in the religious in a religious way in the battlefield. See, the same result is they are also getting. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on the religious principles and killing of animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. So even in the sacrificial fire, some animals are being killed, maybe not now, again in the previous ages, not in this yuga. Again, that is also, there is a reason for that. Like Kshatriyas are improving their skill sets by maybe killing some animals in the forest. Similarly, Brahmanas, they do animal sacrifices. So for what? Again, it has been mentioned in the scriptures that it is for testing the mantras. Mantras potency, to test the potency of the mantras, they do a trial actually. So that trial is something, like that is happens during this sacrificial animal sacrifices. But what is the speciality? The Brahmana is not getting any sin because it's authorized Brahmana, because he should be an authorized Brahmana. He should be a proper Brahmana, by the way, following all the principles. and it should be as per the scriptures, whatever sacrifices they are doing. Third point is that animal who is being sacrificed in the sacrifice, they are actually getting a human form in the next birth. See, not they are actually surpassing so many species and they are going to get a human form. So who is getting benefited? Animals are getting benefited. But if the same sacrifice is happening for satisfying our tongue, then we are getting sin. Those who are killing, they will get sin. Not only that, we are breaking the law of nature, the time lifespan of that animal we are breaking, and that animal is not getting benefited. He has to take birth again in this animal form, that particular form, to complete this quota, and we are also getting sin. So both are the losers. But in the other case, Brahmanas, they are testing the mantras, then the animals are getting a human form or a better forms actually. So there is no loss for anybody there. It's only beneficial, because this is mentioned in as if it is being done through as per the scriptural injunctions, then no problem. Okay. Animal sacrifice, Prabhupada mentions, animal sacrifice gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. See, otherwise animal may take many lifetimes to get a human form, because they have their own quotas to complete, But animal sacrifice in the yajna, if it is done by a proper Brahmana, qualified Brahmana, following the religious injunctions as per the scriptures, then that animal will get definitely a human form. And the Kshatriyas killed on the battlefield also attain heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain by offering sacrifice. So Brahmanas, by offering that sacrifice, they may get heavenly planets they may be elevated to heavenly planets. Also the animal is getting a human form. So both the sides are getting benefited. Similarly, Kshatriyas also, when they are any killing happening in the battlefield, based on the religious principles, then definitely they will also attain heavenly planets. Prabhupada mentions here there are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. Swadharmas, okay. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with the religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual, and it is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from Varnashrama Dharma, or specific duties in terms of the specific modes of body obtained. Discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of higher authorities serves to elevate one to higher status of life. So what is the crux of this section? Okay, Prabhupada mentions that there are two kinds of swadharmas. Swadharmas are two kinds. One is the dharma, the specific duty when we are in this particular body, according to the religious principles. For example, we are a Kshatriya, if we are a Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, and there is specific duties, right, for those Varnas. That is called as Varnashrama Dharma, right? And that Varnashrama Dharma is one kind of Swadharma. Okay, there are two kinds of Swadharma. One kind of Swadharma is Varnashrama Dharma. According to the particular body what we have some religious principles to follow. And we have some, occupational duties to follow. That is called as Swadharma. And what is the second Swadharma? Second Swadharma is basically when we come out of this material conception, when we are, so the second Swadharma is completely the spiritual dharma. Spiritual dharma for a soul, which he or she, for a soul towards the Supreme Lord. So two types of Swadharma. One is based on the body or based on the Varna, and second is our spiritual dharma, that is Jaiva dharma, that is Swadharma basically. And that Swadharma is what we have to, both these dharmas are important. So that is why Krishna, we know that As long as we are in this body, we have some dharma to perform to maintain the body, right? According to the body, according to our nature, we have to do so many duties. Going to office, making money, taking care of family, all these things are our dharma. This one kind of swadharma, like we mentioned, as per the varna ashrama. Even though varnashram system is not there in this current Kali Yuga, but for us, the swadharma means the duties what we do, generally do, taking care of family, all other responsibilities. First swadharma. Second swadharma is our responsibilities as a spiritual being towards Krishna, which is the Jaiva Dharma, or we can say that is the Nitya Dharma also. Because being souls, our eternal occupational duty is to serve Krishna. So that is Swadharma. And in Bhagavatam it is clearly mentioned that that is our Paro Dharma also. That is the highest Dharma. Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma Yado Bhakti Radokshate. So that is supreme most dharma for all the living entities to serve the Supreme Lord. So that is why. So we need to perform both the dharmas. As long as we are in this material body, according to the nature of the body, we have to do two dharmas. But primary focus should be on the Jaiva Dharma or the Nitya Dharma, or we can say Nitya Dharma. Yeah, other Swadharma is Naimitika Dharma basically. Naimitika Dharma means temporary Dharma. As long as we are in this body, we have some duties to perform. That is Naimitik or temporary. Other Dharma, Swadharma, which is service to Krishna, is eternal Dharma. That is why it is called as Nitya Dharma. These are the two differences. Okay, that's what Prabhupada mentions here in the purport. Yes. Okay, so we'll continue the next verses from next class. Okay, so we'll stop here. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद. Hare Krishna. So, if you have anything to ask or anything to share, please. Any reflections, realizations?